Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to the show. We are working on a tree today. Yeah, a tree. It was a process, but we got there. Right now I'm working with an old vintage bell, of all things. This is a beautiful granite clay. I thought, well, it could be a granite tree, or I wouldn't have to paint it. It didn't really work out that way, but we'll talk about that later. Can you tell I'm not a baker?
I think that was obvious, Mom.
Listen, dude. Remember, I feed you and take care of you. I'd like some little bit of confidence boost right here, okay? At least give it a shot, maybe?
Well, I'm too cute to resist giving me your whole plate of food, so I'll get food anyways, even if you don't want me to.
Alright, that was way too much sass from one little guy. But that's my life. Anyways, let's get back to the project. I'm cutting a little bit of the clay in order to put it on to cover up the maiden, or whatever you would call her. Milkmaid, maybe? I don't know what she started as. The whole point of this is to look like an old tree that has engulfed a bone or an arrowhead. Not an arrowhead. A bow that was left by hunters. Yeah, that's the plan, or at least that's the one I started with. You can tell me at the end what you think, but now we're just doing a little bit of texturing. Nope, that tool's not for that. It's to slip the clay together, but it worked pretty well. Out of frame as always. Guys, I'm sorry, but I'm starting with a new setup, so here we are.
At least we're getting somewhere on this project, Mom.
Your confidence in my abilities is so helpful at this point. But let's get back to texturing. It's already 3/4 of this project so far. It looks like a hairy tree. Is there such thing as a hairy tree? That's a new Google lookup. Could you imagine what people would say if they saw your Google history? Like just the random stuff an artist looks up in the middle of a project. It's just like, could be a serial killer or an artist. Anyways, let's get back to it. I could really use a pasta roller. For those who don't know, you can use that for clay. But here we are at this particular moment.
Mom, you already have one thing to roll the clay that comes with the set of clay. You don't need another thing to roll the clay.
Listen, sir, it's a lot easier when you have a pasta roller. I don't need one, but it'd be more efficient. Let's get back to this project. The old maid, or milkmaid, or whatever she was prior to this, is almost covered. You may not be able to tell. Yep, stabbing her with a tool. Again, not what it's used for. Just to make little holes where the tree branch is going. Back to the horrible views, but again, working on different angles and such, and new stands, so that's coming shortly, actually later in this video. But now it looks like a jumbled mess for a few minutes. Thanks everybody for sticking around.
Yeah, it does look like a mess, Mom. Hopefully you can fix it.
Good job, Mr. Sassafrance. You try this stuff. Anyways, we're putting down the final pieces and trying to cover up as much as possible because we don't want the old milkmaid.
Obviously, Mom, if it looked like the old milkmaid, it wouldn't be a tree.
Oh look, I found a tree. Okay, now let's play a little bit of catch up for those who weren't here. I mean all of you guys that didn't watch me do what I just did. I added clay onto the base in order to make branches and used the clay in order to add the wires. Now I'm adding snakes of clay in order to make the branches. What do you guys think of the new angle?
Mom, why are we staring at her wall? Like, seriously?
Correction, sir. You're staring at the wall, which makes more sense now. For me, it's been 2 days of trying to make this a proper tree, which may or may not have been my best idea as of late. But here she is. Since Mr. Mufasa is not very helpful, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Does it start to look like a tree yet?
Absolutely not. Seriously?
This is the point you see the little burn marks after maybe the third or fourth bake, because you gotta save your progress going through. But unfortunately, it gets way more burnt. I was gonna leave that, as I said in the beginning, and just make it a granite colored tree or an ash tree or something to that nature. Oh, that one looks like a dog doo-doo. Such professionalism on this channel, isn't it?
Make up your mind, girl. What kind of tree do you want?
It's a process. Not sure what kind of tree it is yet. Preferably not a burnt one. And it's got a old bow stuck in it. It may or may not be somebody's home. Maybe Foss's, if he doesn't stop acting a fool.
How about it use your fingers as the chew-toy, Mom?
If you chew on my fingers, then I will not be able to feed you, nor finish this project. Not your brightest move there, sir.
I don't care if you finish the project, and I'll just get Dad to feed me anyways.
Why are you still here if you don't even want to listen to my project or see it? I don't get it. Anyways, for all the people that want to be here, I'm finishing up the branches and adding a little bit of texture. The jump scare warning is coming because, look, it's burnt to a crisp. And I put it in the oven on the right temperature. So what does one do when a tree comes out burnt from the oven? Like, that's a sentence anyone's ever said. Yep, painting the gray tree. You guessed it, gray. Good job.
Number one, I'm obviously here because I'm annoying and cute and fuzzy and yeah. And number two, obviously you're gonna paint it gray. It's a gray tree.
I wasn't planning to paint it. That was the reason I used clay that was colored. You weren't here, were you? Anyways, now we get to the painting of the rest of the tree, of course, and our special guest. But right now, watch the satisfying paint video. Does anyone else like the paint pouring?
I like it when you pour your paint because I can put my paws in there and get all dirty and get all your stuff dirty and be annoying.
Oh, my dearest Foss, the trouble you would be in if you got on my table. Let's not try that one, sir.
Well, that sounds like an approval to me. Thanks, Mom.
That was the exact opposite, in fact. But here we go back to the project we were doing. It is a gray tree. Again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do something here. Now we dry brush. This is when you take most of the paint off the brush and put it on to accentuate the details. In this case, the little scratches that I spent so long doing. Probably about 2 hours. So let's recap. First we started with a gray tree, thinking it was going to stay gray. Then it got burnt. Then we lost some branches. And then you paint it black over the gray a little bit to accentuate the scratches that you in fact put there on purpose. Okay, everybody's caught up. Let's go.
Mom, no one cares how long you spent doing the scratches.
Once again, sir, I'm so glad that you are so supportive. Anyways, for anybody else that's still here, I am just finishing up the dry brushing, and I'm going to add a little bit of white off camera just to bring out more of the highlights.
Mom, you want it? You forgot to record it, and you didn't want to say that you forgot to record it. Like, seriously? Ooh, duck, can I eat it?
No, sir, you may not eat the wooden duck that's painted. Try your food. Anyways, we're going from a red-headed duck to a mallard. Why? Because I could. Disregard the giant splotch of paint in the corner. Now that I brought your attention to it, you won't even be looking at the duck. Anyways, for anybody that's still here, thank you. And like and subscribe and do all those things. Please, so we can grow. And stay tuned for the final shots. Okay, I'm going to insert the pictures of the ducks here so you have a clearer idea of what's going on. Okay, it looks like I lied. It's not time for final shots yet. We have to finish painting the duck. I forgot a whole section. Again, professionalism is great around here. Try my best. Oh, there goes the camera. Oh, that's not good. This is where the tripod broke. Yep, that happened. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have added this, but here it is anyways. Poor duck. Maybe I should have left it out, but then you wouldn't see the creation of David the Ducky. If anybody gets the reference, let me know. For anyone else, NCIS, the medical examiner's name is Ducky, and his real name is David. So you guys think if this happens again, should I leave it in or leave it out? I kind of like him.
I like him too, Mom. He's tasty.
Once again, sir, not food, wood. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the final shots. I promise this time they're coming. Right about now.